episode 301 of Global from Asia, from quarantine in China, going back to a Philippines interview I did in person with the amazing community leader in the Philippines market. Today's a special treat.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight-up, actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Thank you so much for choosing to download and listen to this magic little MP3 file on your phone, or maybe you're on your computer, or maybe you're in your WeChat app. We try to get this everywhere, and my wife helps me get it into China, and I'm back in China, and I was just on BBC again. They're following up with me on BBC Live Radio. I'll add that to the blah 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 session at the end, because it's live radio, and I recorded it because I don't want to waste that content. I try to use all the content we get, so we will put that at the outro after the interview today. If you want to hear the BBC people interviewing me for a little bit of a few 5-minute segments on their UK morning show. All right. I'm recording this on my birthday, April 2nd. If you are on our email list, which if you're not, I recommend you get on. And it's not usually spam. It's mostly some fun interactive stuff and some special opportunities we had. But we also just finished our webinar for Loadpipe, and we filled the group offer. Literally going through the orders now, and we got deposits, and some people paid up front, and there's quote-unquote small wholesale orders, and there's some larger orders. So thank you for those that believed in us and believed in supporting this and getting the masks to you of our first group offer. One for the records, as I saw this insanity with these masks and PPE, I felt this is the time to launch Loadpipe, which has been a domain I've had since 2007, if you can believe that. Paying renewal fees alone is painful every year. Thinking about Zach Franklin, he was on a few weeks ago. Thanks for sharing the show in your WeChat group, buddy, and listening to episode 300 last week. I really appreciate that. And, we are rocking and rolling. Episode 301. For all those web geeks, I think a lot of you are if you're in Amazon. I make 301 redirects from my website to Amazon so I can track it a little. I don't know if it's a hack or a tip. But 301, episode 301 is like a redirect. But Ace Estrada is our guest this week, and Ace is an amazing community guy. We met him and his wife, Andy. She's also an amazing community leader and a person. Came to our CrossBorder Summit in 2018. That was one of our, I guess all of them have been pretty amazing, but that was a pretty cool one. I mean, I liked in Shenzhen, and it was springtime, and there's great weather, and we had that rooftop place. And he came out, we met for the first time, went to the Canton Fair with us together and a tour, and I spoken at his events. So this interview I did in person with him. Hopefully it comes out good. I did it on my phone, and I had him with the lapel mic, because man, I'm traveling without my ATR 2100 Audio-Technica, my microphone I usually use. I'm recording this right now on a lapel mic clip-on. I hope this sounds okay. I don't want to do it on speaker of my laptop. I know sometimes our guests are like that, but I want to have a decent audio for you guys if we can. So we did this in-person interview, and I guess this week we're taking a break of coronavirus. I feel like we've been talking about that too much. Actually, Ace and Andy, his wife, have been working day and night also trying to help people in the Philippines market with test kits and supplies. We've been working together on Loadpipe, so it's really great to have him in our network and sharing with his community and our community here. So we talk about the Philippines e-commerce market, the startup entrepreneurs' mindset. He I try to keep it real. I have amazing team, and most of our team, Alvin making his show, and Mindy, and we have some great team members in the Philippines that make this exact podcast come alive, and I really appreciate it. And in the interview, I hope I didn't offend him or others, but I was just saying, why are Filipinos so shy, and why does the internet suck so much? And I like to have his quotes. I like to have his input, because he's a local Filipino, and he's not afraid to say what he thinks, and he says some pretty amazing things on this interview. So I hope you enjoy and get a little bit of a break from this COVID-19 epidemic. But thanks again, Ace, for sharing, having me at your community in Baguio, in northern Philippines, and sharing on this show. So everybody enjoy. Are you a quote-unquote small buyer? You know, I'm a small buyer. I'm maybe still a small buyer, but meaning one of these e-commerce sellers like I was in 2007 when I went to the Global Sources show and Canton Fair, and these guys wanted thousands of orders from me, and I was a maybe wholesaler, drop shipper trying to buy from factory direct. Well, we got an option for you, Loadpipecom, currently only on COVID-19 PPE supplies for this pandemic nightmare, but the plan is long-term to help you buy products from factories direct with the power of group buying. It's a mini little site for now, and we would love to have you in. It's closed beta, because we're kind of building this as we go. I'm a hustler, and we're startups, and we're building this as an MVP, minimum viable product, so it's a little bit embarrassing, but as I say, Reid Hoffman at LinkedIn says, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, then you launched too late. We are learning and doing and taking action. If you want to be part of this closed beta, check it out at loadpipe.com. Put in referral code and say podcast, and let me know what you think. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Global from Asia podcast. Ace has been on my list of guests for a while. Ace Estrada. I'm here in his hometown, Baguio?
Yes.
Yeah, in your hometown. Took a nice windy road trip from Manila, and I'm really excited to share today in your community about sourcing, and I'm really happy we got this chance to do a podcast with you for the Global from Asia show. Thanks for being here, Ace.
I'm glad to be here. Mike?
Yeah, so we met at the CrossBorder Summit. Really appreciate you a couple years ago coming out into Shenzhen. We also went to the Canton Fair together and got to know each other there, and we've been in touch finding ways to help each other, and we're both, I think, similar, where we're passionate about community and sharing, and I hope there's a lot more we can do. So do you want to just introduce yourself first before we dive in to the listeners today about yourself and what you do here?
Yes, so my name is Ace Estrada. So I would like to think of myself as a community builder, more like a community noise maker, actually. So we manage a community called Ecom Pinoy. It has 16,000 members, online community called Shopify Hub, and an e-com mentorship program. So essentially, we teach people how to do e-commerce, among many things. In the real world, I have an offline community of freelancers here in Baguio, 140 members, and we work out of a space called Calle Uno.
Yeah.
We do call center support, coding, video editing, among many, many things.
Yeah, so we're recording right here. You took me a little tour. We'll also do a little video blog. I always do my videos, but today this is the audio podcast. But we'll also link to the videos and some of your other projects you're working on. So today, I mean, the topic, there's so much we could talk about, but I think it's been on my list. I'm down here in the Philippines for a while, and I want to get to know the community. I want to know the ecosystem. So I think it'd be a great conversation for us to share with people listening. I know you also work with the startup entrepreneur community, which I do too, but I think within the e-commerce sellers in the Philippines for the local market, what are the kind of groups? I mean, in my world, there's drop shippers and there's Amazon. Of course, FBA is really hot for the listeners. We have there's Shopify, there's Lazada. What do you think is the main breakdown of sellers that you know?
Here in the Philippines, definitely Lazada is top of the mind, top of the list.
Okay.
And then Shopify. So Philippines is a seller's market, and then our local COD is very strong here. But we have a very significant amount of people who do Shopify for the US and print on demand.
Okay. Print on demand, yeah, POD. Okay. And so are they... Well, I know this whole coronavirus is changing things a lot. I mean, even for my presentation later today, I'm going to change it a little bit based on that. But are they buying locally, or print on demand, I think, would be fulfilled from Philippines or fulfilled from the US? Or
fulfilled from the US. So just today we had something called the Free Ecom Mastermind, where people came from all over the Philippines to attend a workshop. The message I was telling them about is that you don't come here to learn from me, but you come here to learn from each other, to know each other, to know how you can help each other. And with the very significant news about coronavirus, the message today is that China is the main source, but for now, when it's still shut down or not fully operational, you should find your products elsewhere. And you don't need to look beyond the Philippines. You can only look into the Philippines, into the towns and cities, or even your own cupboards.
Yeah.
What can you make in your kitchen that you could sell? What do you love that you could brand? What can you be passionate about and sell to each other? So this was the message today, and I think it took very well.
Yeah, yeah. I did a little. Thanks for introducing me. There's, I think, 60 people downstairs, and every time I meet you, there's some kind of a mastermind or event. It's just really inspiring. So the evolution. So we're in a year. We're early 2020, year 2021 recording. For me, like, I came to Philippines first time in 2009. I don't know if you know that. And back, I was in Quezon City. Very small little home office, 2 floor. I lived upstairs, and I had about 6 people doing e-commerce customer support for my e-commerce business. And back then, I was training my team, and I would even try to motivate them to, even though I'm not the best boss because I'm always teaching them and they do it by themselves, but they didn't even want to do it by themselves then. I don't know if even now I have great team members helping me with this, editing this podcast and promoting a lot of what we do, but I haven't had the best. In China, they all are starting their own businesses. They're more on. I hope I'm not offending you or anybody listening, but they're more entrepreneurial than I found in the Philippines. But I see all these events you're doing and all these sellers. So in the last 10, 11 years, has that been changing? I mean, there's more sellers now than then, or what's this evolution, I would say?
I would like to challenge your statement
Sure,
saying
please,
that
please.
Filipinos are less entrepreneurial than people from other countries. I beg to disagree, Mike. For example, if you go out in any Philippine street, just walk. When you travel around the Philippines, every 5 meters or 10 meters, there's a little store selling little things
Okay.
to a limited number of people in the neighborhood. Hardware stores, pet stores, and everything. People are very entrepreneurial in the Philippines. However, you have to get into the mindset that people are naturally cautious. What's big here is the micro retail culture, wherein you buy toothpaste that's good for one day,
Yeah,
shampoo good for one day,
I've seen all of this.
cell phone loads good for one day. It's the same thing. People are very entrepreneurial, but they would like to follow a leader. This is, I guess, the one insight they should have from working with Filipinos. A year ago, in my own experience, we were teaching Shopify, and we were the main voice for Shopify selling, and everyone was doing the same thing. I was doing it with Nick Peroni and some of the bigger e-com players here in the Philippines, and everyone was talking Shopify. When I did a little sabbatical like a year later, the conversation totally changed, and it shifted to local selling in Lazada. I know everyone wants to get in there for Lazada and local selling. People want to follow a winner and leader, and this is a trait of Filipinos.
Okay.
I think it's good, because when you're an influencer and you speak loud enough, people will follow you,
Got
and
it.
your message must be clear and must be moldable for them.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to have this. That's exactly why I want you on the podcast to share. I mean, get these insights. I think many foreigners like me, I think, don't understand the market. I mean, it's not really on my list, but I have an issue even managing my team because they're so shy, at least the people I work with. And, I have to really hold myself back to not be too direct, to not be too aggressive, to not be scary, because it's similar. I had similar experiences in China, but why is that? I guess it's kind of a very deep question, not really related to e-commerce, but there's this very,
Why are Filipinos shy? That's the
shy,
question.
yeah.
Well, you have to blame it on 300 years of colonization, where we are taught to be docile or we don't go to heaven, and that the church was used as a tool to make us conform to the government. But more importantly, Filipinos are traditionally, they keep their opinions to themselves. Even if they have to, it seems impolite not to show it in front of people. It's not to say that they don't have strong opinions. Yesterday, I went to the wedding of one of my dearest friends. His name is Adam Gubaya. And Adam Gubaya has the one distinction of being mentioned on the Oprah show. Michael Essany, he's one of the biggest POD guys in the US, mentioned Adam Gubala on the Oprah show and said, Adam Gubala of the Philippines is the wind beneath my wings. And you only have to look at the work of Adam to see that shyness does not translate into shyness in business. So he creates graphic designs by taking people who do not know graphic designs. He lines them up in a line of computers, much like a conveyor belt system. And then one makes the outlines, one colors, one conceptualizes, and it comes out with the work of 2 days in 30 minutes. He uploads these designs online every 2 days, and then he puts up a timer where it counts down to the time when the graphics are ready to download. And then boom, people who've paid $30 to subscribe to his site can now click, and buy.
Wow.
This guy makes $3,000 every 2 days.
Amazing.
Limited only by the speed of his internet connection in a town called Bulacan, where internet is very slow. It's amazing that people like Adam are able to do something really, really different. I've never seen anything like it in the Philippines. Now he's set to go to Australia to bring that type of business model there. And I said, Australia's not ready for you, man. And if you look at him, he's so shy. And I think what I'm saying is that Filipinos are naturally talented.
Definitely.
And that you just need to get them in a safe place and they would shine.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed. I think listeners would agree. I mean, very creative. I mean, I think it's from the educational system. So many singers, artists coming. I guess in the school system, I've heard there's lots of music and creativity in the system.
The best singers in cruise liners are Filipinos.
Yeah.
The karaoke was invented by a Filipino.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move back into e-commerce. All this is pretty fascinating. I mean, I think it is related to the seller.
Yeah.
So I think if they basically what I think I'm summarizing is if they have a leader and a winner and a system, they kind of want like a blueprint, like a step-by-step system to follow, and they can apply their micro
retail code.
Micro retail.
Yes.
Then they could succeed. We're in Baguio. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I went north or south from Manila. I went north. It's cold here,
Yes.
but it's a beautiful city. There's some mountain.
We have central air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all over the city.
Yeah, it's really a nice, really relaxed mountainous city. So my meaning is, and this question is, I'm not sure. Would you say there's different regions of Philippines are different for seller markets, communities are different, or is it similar? You know, maybe of course there's the Manila. We're here in Baguio, where you're doing great things in Cebu, Davao. I mean, is there differences in these regions with the entrepreneur, e-commerce, seller communities?
Not so much differences in outlook or mindset or anything else. It's really differences in internet connection.
Oh, yeah.
Baguio is one of the most wired cities in the world. It's the next wave cities. And we know that for a fact that people come here because of that.
Okay.
And because Baguio is a melting pot of education, the biggest universities are here, and the best universities are here in Baguio. People come here, and when they graduate from universities, we put out 20,000 graduates, if I'm not mistaken, every year. And these people stay. They find opportunities and jobs in Baguio.
Nice.
So it's a melting pot. You can say the same for key cities like Davao, Cebu, of course Manila. Clark is looking very positive right now with the green city. So wherever there's good internet connection, there's e-com life.
That is true. I mean, I don't have patience. Internet, that's one of my biggest frustrations here. I don't know if we want to get into too much. I could go on so much about internet.
Yeah.
Why is there such a challenge to have decent internet here? I don't know why.
There's no challenge except that there's a duopoly of internet providers. Only 2 entities provide internet to the Philippines. It's all artificial. It's all political.
Yes.
And economic, of course. It's sad.
It's really sad because
Yes.
I could imagine how much better the economy could be.
Yes.
Because internet is life for us.
It
It's
is. It is life.
e-commerce,
Yes.
entrepreneurs, online
Yes.
businesses.
Do not forget that Filipinos here in the Philippines, we are a seller's market, meaning that we speak the language, English, the
Yeah,
same language that our buyers speak.
yeah.
We have an American culture ingrained in our own culture, so we understand more than most other peoples in the world, the American culture and the Western culture. We have the tools to succeed, and internet is one of the stumbling blocks
It's so
for
true.
what we want to do.
It's really frustrating. I wish if you could tell me something I can do. I don't like to just complain. I would like to try to do something, but it's very, very frustrating.
In our lifetime, things will change. You cannot be at the bottom forever. Things will change.
I hope. But I mean, like I said, I was here, I lived here for about a year in 2009 and 10, and unfortunately, the internet still is an issue. Um, let's move on. I think so. Most of our listeners are foreigners, Americans, Europeans, overseas. That's kind of our demographic of this podcast, and of course, they have many VAs that they work with. But what what are some other ways? I don't know. It's kind of like a brainstorming question, but of course, there's just higher money salary, but is there some other ways that foreigners or overseas international people could work with the local market and collaborate with the e-commerce sellers and entrepreneurs?
Yes. First, you have to hire them as VAs and teach them what you know. We have a very strong VA culture here, virtual assistants, and over time, the VAs become more valuable to the store, and then when they do, um, they tend to grow the store and the business for you. So that's a plus for coming to the Philippines.
Definitely.
Yes.
So would there be some opportunities? Would there be interest in like letting them become some kind of a partner shareholder in the e-commerce store? Is that something you've ever heard of? Like, I don't know. For me, even I'm trying to find ways that I could incentivize my team not to just collect their salary.
Yes, yes. So here in Calle Uno, we meet many people from all over the world. They work here for one day, 1 week, or even a month. I encourage them and message to them is that Filipinos can do some of your work for you and just as well, and that you hire them. And then when you leave, go back to your home country, leave them here and do the work for you, continue to do it. And you create a company here in Baguio or any other place you find Filipinos working well for your business. And over time, that is a very sound strategy for your business.
Okay, so yeah, of course. I mean, I think a lot of foreigners, we want to empower people and incentivize them rather than just collecting their salary.
Salaries,
So
right?
it's exciting that there could be some cases to do that. Um, Getting towards the end here, I know we have some workshops happening and there's amazing things happening in Cali Uno here in Baguio. We already mentioned one amazing case study with the print on demand, the
Yes,
artist in Bulacan.
yes.
Is there some other one
Okay.
examples you'd like to share about some sellers in the community that we
Yes.
could learn from?
Actually, I was not always into e-com. I was a traditional business owner, and then Kali Uno was merely a glorified computer shop for me. And then finally, it evolved into a co-working space. And one of the pivotal occurrences that happened was that I met someone who was working in the co-working space, and he was speaking with my brother-in-law, Pao, who's working with Facebook at that time in Singapore. And I messaged my brother-in-law and said, "Hey, Pao, why are you speaking to my coworker? Who is he?" And he told me, "Kuya, our older brother, don't you know that's Norlito Baclayan? He's one of the biggest POD sellers in Teespring." At that time, I didn't know what Teespring is or what POD is. So I went down to Norlito and said, "Hi, my name is Ace. How are you?" And we got to talk. I realized that this guy made like 15 million pesos by selling a T-shirt online in Teespring by accident. By accident. So he's a college dropout. He's set to go back to the farm because he's out of money to stay in the city. One day, he decided to create a T-shirt, and that T-shirt was the horns of a bull, horns of a deer, the antlers, and white outline, and under it were the words "Save Iraq." And I sold some of those t-shirts and made him some money to last him a few weeks. And then in August, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, he, for nothing at all, he put in the breast cancer ribbon on the chest of the deer, and then made the letters Savarak, made them pink, posted it on Teespring, and you've heard this before, the rest is history. He started selling and selling and selling. He sold 25,000 t-shirts, made himself a multi-millionaire over a period of 6 months. When I met him, he didn't know what it meant. Savarak with the ribbon. And I told him, Norlito, I said, Savarak, rak in the parlance of Americans is that beautiful part of the female anatomy. And it's Savarak, you've hit a niche of hunters who lost loved ones to breast cancer. And he said, that's what it meant. So I said, can you teach this to the people who come to the community, who work here? Can you do a workshop? So I had to mind map him, because he doesn't speak great English. I had to help him make his slides. On the day of the event, we have 40 people waiting, and he wouldn't come out of the room. And he told me, I don't want to come out, I'm so nervous. And he was beating his chest. He said, look at my heart, it's pounding out of my chest. And I said, please, it's embarrassing for us not to do this. We asked people to come, and I said, whatever they paid, I'm going to pay double or triple. Please don't let me go out there. And he was panicking. And then my wife spoke to him calmly, let me leave the room. And for whatever she told him, could be the magic words, Baram you from the ship or whatever, he came out. And the first thing she said to the people who were waiting to hear him speak, he said, I'm sorry, I feel like pooping right now. This is the first time I spoke in public. And then I felt my world was falling down. I was feeling so ashamed. And you know what happened? People started saying, that's all right, Norlito. Go ahead, Norlito. Guys, let's give Norlito a hand. And people started clapping for him and encouraging him. And then he started speaking, talking about what he did, how he designed it. He told them his story. By the end of the day, he was prancing and was teaching everything, working with their computers, telling them about POD, revealing everything. And then people were so happy they came away with value. And then he never spoke again. In my cell phone were a few grainy videos of what he did. This is my remembrance of Norlito Baclayan's first and last workshop. But I realized that when I posted these videos online, other people started coming forward and saying, I want to teach too. I want to share what I know. I succeeded, but I have no outlet to teach people. And this is how we built a company called Springboard, and later on now called Value Stack with Nick Peroni.
Okay.
So you see, you only need to throw a rock in the ocean or in the pond, and it starts rippling out. This is how great things start. So,
okay. Yeah, it's really amazing case study. And
yeah.
I think this is the empowering people, giving them the knowledge and the confidence, and also, you've had some great case studies of people in the community that are also sharing now, which is really the best. So,
Yes.
This has been fascinating, Ace. Really, thank you for sharing. I'm really glad we got to squeeze this in while I'm here. There's so many things that you do. They're like me. What are some ways people could find you or find some of these things that you're doing?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have a page called Ace Estrada, and then also a profile. And they can find me at AC Estrada with a single E at calyuno.ph. That's AC Estrada at calyuno.ph. Everyone's welcome to come to our community. There's a lot of good coffee, sometimes bad, but a lot of conversations are always good here. Most welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Ace. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here, and thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, everybody. I still wonder if we should plug the CrossBorder Summit, but no matter what, we will do this again. And it is still written down on my calendar for November 19th and 20th, 2020. CrossBorderSummit.com. We got the different variations of spellings, but I spell border BORDER, but some had that A, so we got both of those. But at CrossBorderSummit.com, this will be our 5th annual. So far, it's not going to be an online one. We have these online meetings for our members and our community, from webinars to members-only roundtables, but this is meant to be an in-person yearly conference. One of the highlights of my year. So stay tuned, CrossBorderSummit.com. The best is to get on the Global From Asia list at globalfromasia.com/subscribe, and you'll be one of the first to hear, as well as early bird announcement. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Ace. Thank you so much. I hope you guys and girls and boys and ladies and other people, dogs listening to this. I know there's some people that say they listen to this while they're walking their dog or running with their dog. Wherever you are, I hope you enjoyed this show. You know, some of you say I'm not so focused. I try to mix it up, you know. Sometimes, but I think this is relevant. We're talking about the Philippines e-commerce market, startup entrepreneur communities. And Ace is one of those people to talk to about that. My trip to the Philippines got cut short, honestly. I was almost going to think about doing a little bit of a series of some other people there, but I'm lining those up to be on Skype or on Zoom or whatever online recording software for the next upcoming podcasts. I do hope you enjoyed, and I think we will. It's the blah 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 session. I don't know. I think there's 3, 4, 5 minutes of this BBC interview segment I wanted to clip in, and this is the second BBC. If you want to hear the first one, mikesblog.com/BBC for the MP3, and we can listen to this second one. They actually put some clips from the first one. They kind of made this like a episode 2 of me. And he pronounces my name wrong. What are you supposed to do? Correct him on live radio? I guess I should have, but it's Michelini, okay, not Michelini. Sorry. Everybody screws that one up. I should have corrected him on live radio, but by the time the show goes online, I think I'll be out of this quarantine. Yeah, this will be going on April 7th, so I'll be out of quarantine. 6:40 p.m. April 6th, Monday. I should be out of here. At this hotel room. I need to get another microphone. Maybe I'll do a Loadpipe group by factory order, and you guys can buy some microphones with me too, and we can get a better deal together. What do you think? That's the vision of Loadpipe. All right, blabbing too much here is the blah blah blah. You can just skip this, or you can hear my live radio interview on BBC World Morning Report UK edition that was streamed live on April 2nd on my birthday. Crazy world. Take care. Bye bye. Or bye-bye, or listen to this segment.
Now, if you were listening to Newsday in the first week of February, you may recall husband and wife Wendy and Michael Michelini. Wendy was stuck in quarantine in China with their 2 children, her sister, her mother, who was in the middle of cancer treatment, and her father, who has heart issues. Michael had gone to Manila for work, and whilst there, COVID-19 took hold. Here's a reminder of what they told us then.
We're just scared to go outside, to go to the public area, so stay home every day.
I mean, even without this virus, it was hard. So this is, of course, added to the stress of the situation.
How do you deal with it?
Just more regular calls. Try to just do video calls. We use online WeChat. Just to try to play with the kids on the WeChat. Try to make sure daily check-ins, regular chats. Of course, reading the news all the time.
Well, in the last week, Michael made it back to China on one of the last flights out of Manila. He's now in quarantine in Shenyang and joins us on the line now. It's also his birthday. Happy birthday, Michael. How are you celebrating?
I did an online calls, like the last recording just played. Been doing lots of online social activities with friends and close ones, family.
Wow. So just give me a sense of where you are at the moment and what you're doing and what it looks like where you are.
Sure. So I'm in the northeast of China. I'm in a winter jacket from my uncle-in-law that they were able to deliver here. I'm in day 10 out of 15, I think it's 15 days, but I'm past halfway through now. Just in a normal, I'd say 3-star hotel in China that's kind of turned into a mini hospital with no one in the hallways except, the hazmat suits of people delivering your food and ensuring you're staying in your room. But outside the window is normal day in China, which is really kind of mind blowing.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, I haven't left this room except for a blood test. I took a coronavirus test 2 nights ago, but besides that, I haven't left this room in a week and a half.
Yeah. Are conditions better there than they were in Manila, would you say?
I mean, of course, in this day and time, now, yes. When we had a couple months ago, it was normal in Manila and lockdown here. Now it's lockdown in Manila and mostly normal here outside from my window.
Yeah. And is there any indication about how long you'll be where you are at the moment? How long you're staying in quarantine?
I get out April 6th at 6:40 p.m. local time.
Can it come soon enough?
Yeah, I guess I can get home for my birthday dinner. The wife and her family have preparing my birthday dinner April 6th after. It's about 20 minutes drive from here, so about 7 p.m. or so I'll have my out of quarantine birthday party.
So I'm sure you're looking forward to that. You haven't seen your family in a very long time, have you?
It's been over a few months now, yeah. I mean, much longer than anticipated for sure.
But it's closer now. You're closer to seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, at least now I have a date. I think, a couple months ago I was deciding to come into China or not with the lockdown, and now it's clear I have a date and time to count down towards.
Yeah, the last time we spoke, or you spoke to a colleague of mine, we found out that your wife's parents were not well. What's the situation with that?
Yeah, the whole reason my wife came back to her hometown, I was here for a while, was her mother has pretty advanced cancer, and there was treatments happening, so she wanted to bring our children and her to be with her mom and dad. Also, her dad has some heart conditions, so she really wants to spend time with them. And last time she wasn't even my mother-in-law, her mom wasn't even able to go to get treatments anymore. There's a few per month. Now it seems better. I saw photos of them in the hospital yesterday. Normal treatments back on track. It seems to be. Of course, this cancer is a horrible thing, but it's back on the normal track of treatment.
Yeah, and before I let you go, Michael, I wonder what this whole thing has taught you. Where has it left you mentally?
As bad as it is, I think it makes me, I think many others, have time to reflect on our life and what's really important. I mean, we're all so, even me, I'm so busy about work and trying to make, of course, provide for myself and my family, but I think there's much more important things than that. And I think many of us, while of course businesses close and economy and stock markets down, I think we realize that life, we have to appreciate more time with our loved ones, and that's the most important thing.
Michael Michelini, thank you very much, and best wishes. We wish you the very best, and hopefully we'll speak in better circumstances. We've been speaking there to Michael.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Now, happy birthday.
Have a good day, and have a very happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, then. Bye then.
In the US say the federal government's.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.